Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. This one's going to go further beyond Dragon Ball Super and also might be one of the shorter videos on my channel. I just wanted to take a moment of your time to talk about Dragon Ball Super, the fandom, and why I personally believe it's okay to like Dragon Ball, why it's okay to like Dragon Ball Super. I know since it's winding down, a lot of people are getting really nostalgic for it right now. I mean, we've only had it for about 3 years at this point, or by the time it actually ends, it'll be nearly 3 years old, but it already kind of does seem like, oh man, we're all going to lose this thing that has been in our lives. It's been here consistently for the last 3 years or so, and obviously that makes a lot of people hurt. And at the same time though, there is a group of people who are bagging on Super. Oh, it's just not what we really wanted. It is a subpar series from everything else that we got. And then there's also people jumping on everyone for being nostalgic or saddened by the fact that Dragon Ball Super is ending. And I just wanted to kind of stop us right here and now and say, I think it's okay to like Super. I think it's okay to enjoy Dragon Ball Super for what it is and not really have to think about, oh, is it better than Dragon Ball? Is it better than Dragon Ball Z? Is it better than GT even, or any of the other things that we're getting from this show over the last couple years? Because if you think about it, Dragon Ball Super is the show that really gave us this community. It gave us everything around us, and that in and of itself is awesome. But also, I think that there's this tendency to be hypersensitive or hypercritical to the things that we watch now. And you see it all the time. And like I said, this definitely goes beyond Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super. You're seeing this a lot more now, maybe with the Star Wars movies or any other thing like Bright on Netflix, the Jigsaw movie that came out last year, and almost everything else you can think of. This divide between critics and the general audiences. And I wanted to kind of say that Bright is a good example of this. Recently, the CEO of Netflix came out and said that he thinks that criticisms, or the days of criticism, is actually numbered, because he thinks that critics these days, movie, cinema, just general television, anything like that, is far away from what the general audience is looking forward to, and the way that they're actually wanting to absorb the media that they're watching and enjoy the stuff that they want to enjoy. Critics, for the most part, go into things super critical. A lot of people would consider them on top of their ivory towers, looking at what people like and trying to show them, or at least downgrade people's expectations, tell them why something is subpar and you shouldn't enjoy it, shouldn't support that medium, when really the general audience, for the most part, goes after this content, whether it's a Netflix original show or these constant reboots that they're doing these days, where bringing back 20-year-old shows or whatnot. Even Dragon Ball Super, the Star Wars movies, everything, they go into it with open arms. They take it for what it is, and only the people who are mad are either the critics who don't like the movie or the super mega fans who wanted more from it and expected a lot more from it. And I really think a lot of us who criticize Dragon Ball Super on a huge basis, like, oh, this isn't my Dragon Ball, this isn't the Dragon Ball they grew up with, or it's just a silly cash grab and they're not telling a story right, and all this other stuff, are critical because we're fans, not necessarily because we're critics. We grew up with it, we have this emotional attachment to it, so obviously if the show doesn't reach that expectation, as Mark Hamill said, it's just a movie, it's not going to change your childhood, you're not going to recapture it. I think Super is the exact same way. We're not recapturing our childhood here. We're building and creating something a little bit different. And I think that there's a lot of people who don't make these YouTube videos, who don't watch this stuff, who are enjoying this show, from week to week, or the Star Wars movies as every movie comes out, because they're taking it as it is. And I think that that's one thing that we all really need to remember, is it is okay to like something. You don't have to be overly critical about Dragon Ball Super or Star Wars or Bright or any other crazy crappy show that they're going to put out there in the next year or so. And it's fine to sit around and expect and wait for that episode, wait to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions about that episode every given week. And obviously, it's okay to feel sad about the show ending, even though it wasn't as good as you might have wanted it to be or might have expected. You still enjoyed it, and it's still a good memory looking back at all of the times when you were waiting for the episode to come on, or talking with your friends every single week about what you thought was going to happen, theorizing, speculating, power scaling, all this other stuff. So yeah, I know I've been talking a whole lot about Dragon Ball Super ending and stuff recently. I think that's kind of an unavoidable topic at this point, but this is something that I've seen happen not just in the Dragon Ball communities, but everywhere else, as people are really talking a lot about the divide between criticism, fandoms, and also the general public. And I really think for a lot of people, their enjoyment or interest in things really goes into the general public. They watch things, they enjoy things, and they don't really think about it so much afterwards. The only people who are incredibly critical of everything going on are the fans or the critics, who are trying so desperately to get people to see the error of their ways or get them not to actually watch the content that they want to watch or are interested in. And I think that we need to step back and think, okay, well, you know, we might be fans, but we can still enjoy this. We might be critical, but we can still enjoy this for what it is. Or you're just a general audience member who doesn't like it, but you can at least appreciate that other people like it, or you don't, or you really enjoy it and you can appreciate it for the reasons that you enjoy it, and you don't really care about anyone else thinks. Those are just my weird thoughts on this. Honestly, I think Dragon Ball Super has been an awesome show. I don't feel like I have to argue the fact that I've enjoyed it. I don't think I have to prove the fact that I've enjoyed it. I mean, I have a year or two's worth of content just plainly in this medium right here on YouTube, plus everything on Twitter and Facebook and everything else that I've been putting up on social media over the last couple of years. So yes, I did like Dragon Ball Super. I think it's okay to like Dragon Ball Super. I'm going to be sad when Dragon Ball Super ends, and I'm going to be trying to find alternatives either for myself or from other content creators to fill the gaps as we wait for the Dragon Ball Super movie, or whatever they end up calling it, or the series to come back, or some other iteration for this show that I love. And I don't think that there's any particular problem with that. So guys, tell me what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? If you don't agree with me, tell me why you don't agree with me. And at the same time, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button. Share this video out to all your friends so they can share their thoughts and opinions on this as well. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. It's been real.